Welcome back. We are nearing the end of Cultivated Live from Planet 13 here in Las Vegas. It is Friday, December 1st. I am Jay Rosenthal. You are?
Krista Raymer.
Krista Raymer. I know that because we've been doing this for 3 days. And it's been great. And we're going to talk about food, cannabis, the intersection of both with the crew from Aroma Culinary.
Yes.
Some action motions.
I just sits in the background.
It just eats. I like it.
I like it.
I like it. You have something in front of you. 2 things in front of you. One is a hot sauce. One is olive oil.
Yeah.
And they're nearly empty. It's been a good show.
Great show.
It's been a great show.
Have you been providing accoutrement to people out on the street?
We was out till 3 a.m., of course.
How's it? My first impression, especially on the hot sauce, was that it smelled like the perfect hot sauce that I want.
Yeah.
Is that what people are finding when they taste it?
Yeah, I really want to spice it up a little bit, but it's just that I want to keep it mid-level.
Usable.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like, everybody don't have my palate. Because we're islanders, so, we could tolerate some real heat.
Yes. And I'm not and can't.
So you are the hot sauce.
Although I do like hot sauce, and we live close to Buffalo, so it's not uncommon. But
Buffalo.
that smells like the perfect heat for me.
And you're a buffalo wing guy. So
I do like, yeah.
When I saw you go, I was like, oh, you felt that vinegar. Okay.
Yeah, that vinegar. I love that vinegar.
Good.
But we have a sister-in-law who that smell would make her like she hates vinegar.
Yeah.
So like you have something like that, or even like Tabasco, like she doesn't like any of it. But that is like perfect for me.
Nice.
Thank you.
That's why I drank half the bottle. Just kidding.
I was like, can we get a hot dog?
Seriously, well, we're going out to eat after. I'm talking about sort of the passion you have for this,
Yeah.
right? Because we've talked before, and it does come across that you said like this is.
So, it's kind of like a passion project that I wanted to turn into something real. Being a chef, I realized there wasn't anything that I could use. I would have to like play around, hopefully that the dosage is right. So with this, all my stuff is lab tested. Make sure I use a nano emulsion now, fast acting.
Mm-hmm.
That way you feel it right away. You could gauge, so you don't overdose.
Right,
Right.
overdose. Yes, right. There's
Exactly.
not overdose.
So the pause, right?
We actually we did talk nano emulsion when one of the days this week
About beverage.
about beverage.
Source beverages, nano emulsion.
Yes, we got a deep dive
We did.
into it. And go ahead.
No, you brought the product essentially to be able to use it yourself.
Yes.
But you do these essentially experiences.
Yes.
Talk to me about who the demographic is. Like, I feel like the people who were purchasing your product or interested in your product surprised you.
Yeah.
So it actually became when Chef Leighton created the product. We started looking to utilize circles that we would hang in anyway, things that we would normally do, and just add a little bit of elevation to it. What we started to realize is, number one, our female consumers, they love the product. They're a lot more progressive in their thought process on the culinary side. A lot of the guys are still into the flower. So it's a little bit more of a teaching curve to the guys over the ladies. The ladies are like, okay, you guys got me. If anything goes down, okay, I'm going to go try this. And it allows us to collect data, find out what that perfect microdose is. And that is what we use to start to push forward the product. Because now we realize this was something that our everyday consumer could take control of. And that's the biggest problem that we have in the culinary space when it comes to edibles, elevated foods at all, is the control when it hits. So that's why we go back to the nano emulsion.
Yeah, because nano emulsion, correct me when I get this wrong, like it actually faster onset and that, but also faster offset as well.
Yeah, that's part of our thing, is fast in, fast out.
Yeah.
And I think
That's why it's awesome.
Yeah. And I think one of the reasons too why I think women gravitate to it more, like during COVID, they're the one that was staying home with their kids. They don't want to smell like weed. So the best thing for them was an edible. And with this, we just like, getting a little crazy, sprinkle a little olive oil in your salad, coast you through the rest of your day, you're good.
Don't tell
And
me.
especially if you're at work too.
Don't tell me. There's no shame in that. That's how we got to get through it. You got to get through it,
Yeah.
for sure. But it is interesting. And it's part of this, I think, fits a trend of the conversations we've had, that like more and more, like legalization happens in the States, it gets a lot of fanfare. And then at some point, more people start adding it to their lives in like normal,
Yes.
totally normal ways,
Yes.
but in the way that works for them, right? Just what you're saying, right? Like what
Absolutely.
works for me, what do I like, what the onset, offset I like how do I want to consume? Do I want to smoke? Do I want to, but it becomes part of people's normal activity, which is great for the industry.
Yeah.
That's the absolute point. It's literally normalization before legalization. Like
Yeah.
we travel the country doing these dinners, so we're speaking to people at our events. We're speaking to people at the supermarket. We're speaking anywhere. You know me. I'm talking about this 24/7, and you start to realize that the more understanding they get, which is why our dinners started to be take on that form of edutainment. Like it's a good time, but we're showing you, hey, non-infused food. We're infusing it with the sauces the same way we want you to do it at home. Here's what 4 milligrams feels like. Here's what 8 milligrams feels like. The more of that, now people are doing it on their own and they're educating their friends. That's how we get to push it down the line. So by the time it does go federal, the culinary aspect of it will be bigger than what it is now.
Yeah.
So we're happy to be trailblazers in that arena.
Yeah.
We're lucky you're trailblazers in the arena.
Thank you.
Because you care about even the fact that like we don't we want it to be an enjoyable experience. We want meet people where they are. Use the products that taste delicious. Like it's
We want repeat customers. So we just try to make sure we accommodate everybody.
yeah.
I also just want to like acknowledge that you also went down a path and was willing to see that your personal bias isn't necessarily how the customer was going to use it or want it or who the customer was
Yeah.
going to be. I don't think that if you were sitting here in front of us that the average person would be like, you're developing a product for the core customer are women eating
Yeah.
salads.
So when
Like
I change the packaging 3 times every year. So it's like it was more masculine. But then I realized, that's not our base. It's women. So we change it to gear more towards women. And it's like we're not married. I'm not married to my ideas. If you don't like something, because there's a dispensary that we that carry a product in Brooklyn called Happy Buds. I spoke to the manager and I asked her like, "What do you think?" She was like, "They want to actually see it." So even when I explained to her why like the bottles were actually matte white first,
Right.
is to keep the sunlight out,
Mhm.
she was just like, "I get that."
the customer doesn't give a shit.
Right.
They want to see it. So instead of doing a clear bottle, I best I did was a frosted bottle, and I showed it to her, and she was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
this makes sense."
Yeah.
So it's just like I listened to what my customers wanted us pivot.
Go
We're
ahead.
also in a new space, right?
Yeah.
So we're literally creating the blueprint as we move forward. So for us, it is absolutely imperative that we stay adaptable, right? Our vision doesn't change, but the journey to the vision, we have to collect data, and we're continuously moving this thing around. I love our original bottle because it has a
Yeah.
squeezy top.
Yeah.
It's easy for dosing, but we started to run into those problems. They didn't know what was inside. They wanted to see it. So it's like you have to, especially if you're promoting a premium product like this, we have to be able to listen to the consumer.
Absolutely. Anything you've seen at the show or talking to people that you're like, oh, I hadn't seen that before, or this is an interesting way to take sort of a similar space, or even something new that sort of struck you as you've been in Las Vegas the past couple of days?
To me, it's how many people still don't know that you can infuse sauces. Like it's, and then when you say seasonings, like how do you do that? So it's still like I'm surprised that a lot of people don't know. That just shows like I got a lot of work to do, or I'm not working hard enough.
Or there's a lot to go after.
Don't say that.
Right? There's
Exactly.
like the other scenario is like it's full, it's chock full, everybody already figures it out, and there's no market to go after.
Yeah.
But there's blue sky ahead.
Yeah, and then once you explain to them, like I'm giving you control, like you're gonna be able to like turn any meal you want into an edible, but you're gonna be able to control the dosage of the edible, and
like
then that's
that.
what more appealing to them.
I like that.
Funny enough, this MJ biz for me, and it's only my second, so I don't have a wealth of knowledge.
Well,
but I know
You've been here one more time than most people that are here.
Listen, this year, I definitely feel the interactions person to person have been a little bit more deliberate. Last year and in prior events, I feel like everyone walks the room giving their 30-second pitch. You're not going to make any impressions. We've realized this year that person to person experience, we love the product. We also want you to invest in us.
Mm-hmm.
Be loyal to what we have cooking because we have a vision. We have proof of concept. We've been doing it like, listen to us. We got you.
Mm-hmm.
And once you start to build that trust, now it's easier to share your vision with other people. And this year has been great for that. It's been an amazing MJ Biz.
That's great. That's great. What about
Yeah.
next year?
We here every
With
year.
seasonings.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. It's with seasonings.
And
I
a
like it.
balcony suite.
Okay. We're going to mark it down. Just make sure to text me where you guys are. That's a party I want to go to.
Oh, for
I
sure.
really appreciate you guys stopping
Thank
by and
you.
making time because I know that it's a long week and to catch you at the end of the week,
Yeah.
for all of us at the end of the week can be hard. But thank you so much for sharing your passion, sharing the journey, but also the way you guys are going about it because I love
Thank
it.
you.
You get it.
We
Thanks, guys.
appreciate you guys. Also, remember, because taste matters. All right, lock it in.
That's what,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
taste matters.
Close taste
There you
matters.
go. Thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you.
We are
Thank you,
still
guys.
live, Cultivated Live at Planet 13 in Las Vegas. We have one more guest coming up, I believe. We have Avihu Tamir. We'll grab him. We will get on the air and we'll wrap this up live from Las Vegas. We'll be right back.
Thank you.